Good evening, everybody. Good to see everybody. Good evening, everybody at home. March 27th, 2025. This is the Mayor and Council combined work and regular session. Will you please call the meeting to order, Dottie, and read the Open Public Meetings Act announcement?
In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, the notice requirements have been satisfied. The meeting dates for the year are confirmed at the annual meeting, are posted on the public bulletin board in the municipal building and on the borough website, published in the record within the first 10 days of the new year, and copies are sent to the Ridgewood News and Star Ledger. Notice of this meeting by the March 20th, 2025 Sunshine Notice was sent to the record, the Ridgewood News and Star Ledger, and has been posted on the public bulletin board in the municipal building and borough website.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilman Yakarino.
Here.
Councilman O'Toole.
Here.
Councilman Holman. Councilwoman Lovisello.
Here.
Councilman Delicio.
Here.
Councilman O'Connell.
Absent.
Mayor Wilzinski.
Here. Everybody, please stand to salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All righty, I am going to review the agenda. Next, we have an introduction of a couple ordinances. The first one is something that we do every year. It is to establish a cap bank and exceed the municipal budget appropriation of 2.5. Do you want to talk about that a little bit, Allison?
Sure. So every year, the overall budget is allowed to increase inside caps appropriations by 2.5%.
No.
By putting this ordinance through, it allows us to go up an additional 1% if necessary, which would bring us to 3.5%. And establishing a cap bank is just anytime unexpended appropriations are existing, you are able to bank them for years to follow to allow you to increase the appropriation limit above the 3.5%.
Perfect. Thank you very much. We have two other land use ordinances. So when we have our land use meetings, our committee meetings, we have our engineer in there and we have our code official in there, and we talk about just different nuances that come up. One of the things we talk about. And there was just something in our ordinance that we thought that may not just work for Allendale, anymore. So what was happening is that our accessory structures have a side yard setback of only 6 feet. And that's fine if it's a small little shed or a garage, but people were starting to build very large 2-story garages that were literally on top of like the next person's house. And since it was considered an accessory structure, it only had to have a 6-foot setback. So imagine like a 20-something foot structure only 6 feet from your property line. So because of this new trend, we are changing one of the ordinances that the distance of the height has to equal the distance of the set yard setback. The second ordinance that we're changing is we discovered that in our land use board meetings, the actual land use board, different than the committee, is a lot of people are coming when they're not even changing their impervious coverage. They're just maybe going up, but because there's more square footage, it actually also increases the side yard. So it's a variable side yard, and it just really wasn't making sense. And we were actually approving them all anyway. But they do have to bring in their lawyers, they have to bring in their planners, and it's a lot of money. So we're here to help facilitate our residents, not to give them a hard time. So we tweaked that, which was also very similar to what other towns were doing. Anything to add?
Councilman Delawisio pointed out too with the additional structures. Once again, just to reiterate, these are not, even with how large they've become, for residents to live in. These are not, they are, additional structures. They're not to be lived in. And I think that's in our code already, but it's probably a good note to make sure that, that gets stressed again.
Okay, next is our consent agenda. These are matters that are considered routine. They're enacted in one motion. I will just pull out a couple to highlight. We have this all the time, is our emergency temporary budget appropriations. This is money that we can use before our budget will get approved, and we're actually introducing our operating budget this evening. We have our fees for the Crestwood Cruisers coming in already, another change order for the concession stand, which we are hoping is moving on. We have our recycling e-cycle that we're going to put a new dumpster at the recycle center. So hopefully we'll be getting some fees for that. What, did I say it wrong?
No, happy.
Oh, you're just happy.
Happy green team
Yeah.
member there.
All right. And then, of course, another new business, under new business resolution 25-113 is the introduction to our 2025 budget, which is in really, really good shape, thanks to our CFO. All right, I'd like to open up the meeting now to the public on anything on the agenda. Come on up, Walter. State your name, please, and your address for the record.
30 Hamilton. You'll have to excuse my age, I'm a little dense.
You're not dense. You're sharp as a tack. Come
It's not an opinion.
on.
Would you take a moment to explain this ordinance?
Sure. An accessory structure is like a shed or a garage. And historically, they've been one story.
Or pool cabanas.
Pool cabana, shed, garage. So the side yard of your, so say here's your garage and this is your property line. Because it's an accessory structure, it only has to be 6 feet from the property line to the neighbor, right?
Yes.
But historically they've been small, but people now are building these big cabanas and these big garages, and so they're
Not
towering.
that there's anything wrong with that.
Talk about the house itself.
No, not the house itself. These are additional secondary buildings on the property.
Do you have another ordinance relative to the house itself?
Of course.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah.
Explain that.
That's all our building code. Well, there's
existing.
it's existing. Side setbacks are part of our code, whether it's 40 feet from the side or
25
it's usually like 50 from the curb from the front, and then it depends on the size of your home for the other ones
How high?
and the district you're in. You can go to 30.
35 feet is our height for all of the zones. There's different zones, and different zones have different side yard setbacks. Some are larger than others.
Down. Different zones than down, so.
Correct. A, triple A, and double A.
That was a good question. That was a good question. I'm not too sure. Well, it was a good question.
Anything else? Got it.
You're good.
Anybody else from the public like to speak on agenda items only, please? Not seeing anyone? All right. So first, I'm going to have Dottie read ordinance 25-05. Please read our intro to ordinance 25-05.
Ordinance 2505 has been introduced upon first reading and will be published. Sorry. Ordinance 2505, calendar year 2025 ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cat bank, NJSA 48:4-15.14.
Do I have a motion to approve the introduction of ordinance 25-05?
So moved.
Second, please.
Second.
All right.
Councilman Yakarino.
Yes.
Councilman O'Toole.
Yes.
Councilwoman Lovasello.
Yes.
Councilman Delavatio.
Yes.
Next, can you please read introduction to ordinance 25-06?
We're just gonna go back to ordinance 2505. She did that for the public hearing.
Sorry.
So now ordinance 2505 has been introduced upon first reading and will be published at the Wednesday, April 2nd, 2025 edition of the record, will be taken up for further consideration for final passage at the meeting of the mayor and council on Thursday, April 24th, 2025 at 7 p.m. or soon thereafter.
Next, can you please read ordinance 25-07?
Ordinance 2506, an ordinance to amend, supplement, and revise the code of the Borough of Allendale, additions to non-conforming structures, chapter 270-37A.
Do I have a motion to approve ordinance 25-06?
So moved.
Second, please.
Second.
Councilman Yakarino.
Yes.
Councilman O'Toole.
Yes.
Councilwoman Lovasolo.
Yes.
Councilman Delavatio.
Yes.
Okay, ordinance 2506 has been introduced upon first reading and will be published in the Wednesday, April 2nd, 2025 edition of the record and will be taken up for further consideration and final passage at the meeting of the Mayor and Council on Thursday, April 10th, 2025 at 7 p.m. or soon thereafter.
Thank you.
So moved.
Go ahead. Oh, sorry.
Second.
Are you so moved? That's a great choice. Yeah, remember we had someone who thought that, like, that's what we were saying, that we were so moved by.
All right, back on track. My gavel, I forgot my gavel. Ordinance 25-07, please. Will you read it, Patty?
Yes, an ordinance to amend.
Ready.
An ordinance to amend, supplement, and revise the code of the Borough of Allendale accessory buildings, chapter 270-14A.
Do I have a motion to approve introduction of ordinance 25-07?
This one I'm so moved by. So much.
Second, please.
Second.
All right, Councilman Yakarino,
Yes.
Councilman O'Toole,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lovasolo,
Yes.
Councilman Delavatio.
Yes.
Ordinance 2507 has been introduced upon first reading and will be published in the Wednesday, April 2nd, 2025 edition of the record and will be taken up for further consideration and final passage at the meeting of the Mayor and Council on Thursday, April 10th, 2025 at 7 p.m. or soon thereafter.
Thank you very much. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda, please?
So moved.
Second, please.
Second.
Councilman Yakarino,
Yes.
Councilman O'Toole,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lovasolo,
Yes.
Councilman Delavatio.
Yes.
Okay, next we have council reports. Councilman Yakarino.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll keep it brief this evening. You and I last night attended the Allendale Recreation Commission meeting, and Chief Dillon as well. It was a very engaging meeting. We discussed a variety of topics, including fields, the past winter sports season, which went very well for basketball, spring sports. I'm sure Councilman Delavatio will talk a little bit more about the fields of preparation, so I won't steal your thunder on that. But our relationship with ARC, especially over the past year, has always been great. But, you know, the mayor and I started attending their monthly meetings in order to keep those lines of communication open. So, again, great meeting. Covered a lot of topics, and they're very happy with our partnership, and I see that continuing for the long term. So just keep it in. Thank you.
Councilman O'Toole.
Thank you, Mayor. Quick report, the Public Safety Committee has not met since our last council meeting, but we're looking at April 8th for our next gathering. I reported in my last report that we'll be swearing in one officer in April and a second when he finished the academy. Still be swearing in one officer in April, but we hope to have a second candidate to swear in the future. And finally, today was the third time that we hosted the Gary Letizia Memorial Blood Drive at the firehouse. I stopped there between work and here. The turnout seemed to be pretty good for the short time that I was there. Thank you to Walter, Andy for coming out and donating as always. Thanks to Suzanne for the effort.
Oh, I turned away.
Inside your vein.
I thought about making
So,
I have no.
Dr. Letizia just texted me the final number for today. We collected 34 units of whole blood. So
Super.
34 units has the potential to save 102 lives. So a heartfelt thank you to all who came out and donated today, including my daughter, who literally 30 seconds ago just texted me a picture of her plugged in over there.
Okay, give it to me. I'll post it.
That's all. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Councilwoman Lovasolo.
Yeah, I just want to second Matt's comments. It's such a great thing that our community shows up for, and I think we're up to like 30 pints by the time we left there today.
That's great.
And I was talking to Matt's friend Matt, who organizes all of this, and he has some great suggestions going forward on how to advertise it even more. So it was great. I could not give because, little note to anyone who's looking to give blood, you have to be symptom free of anything when you walk in there. and me still coughing from this prolonged cold that I had was like, they're like, you can't give. So, it was great. There's some great things on the agenda tonight, of which, the finance team and the land use team, had a hand in, not the least of which and the most important of which I think is introducing our budget. So Allison, once again, thank you for everything that you and our finance team does. It's looking good. Also the dumpster, that's going to be down at the recycling center for e-waste is a big deal. It doesn't cost the borough anything. In fact, we get money for it. So Andy, thank you for your help with all that. Mark, I know you're a champion of this as well. So this is just really great news. And then land use wise, I mean, once again, this is just another way that I think the borough constantly is reevaluating things and addressing things. And Joe was a part of it for a while as well. And Tyler is on our land use board. And we really do try and make things as easy on our residents as we can, while also making sure that our environment is safe and fair for everyone. So that's about it. Next land use board meeting will be in 3 weeks, and finance, we're cruising along.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Councilman Delavatio.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a very short report. I was on vacation 2 weeks ago, so DPW committee has not met. We actually have a meeting tomorrow morning, as you know. But I know I spoke to Andy a couple times. Guys been busy just filling potholes where they can. We are going to discuss timing so we can start going assessing our roads, so we can start getting the program together to resurface like we have years ago and get that program back up and running. I know the guys are frantically working to get our fields and Crestwood ready for use as the nice weather is here. So I know Andy has a nice report. He's going to give a little update, and that's pretty much all I have right now.
Excellent. All right. Staff reports. We'll start with Allison.
Right. So I guess I'll just focus on a little summary of the budget. So this year's budget is reflecting an estimated 3.4% decrease in the total tax rate, which is estimated at 2.034. We're showing a very small increase of only 0.54% in municipal taxes on the average home, which equates to about $22 a home. So that's always good news. We were very successful in 2024 with generating additional revenues, which has definitely had a huge impact on allowing us to continue to decrease the tax rate. Some of the revenues that increased was our cell tower revenue, which increased more than 50% now that we own our cell tower, municipal court fees, and sewer revenue. We also have in the budget the funds that we got from the PK litigation, which is being utilized to get put into our capital fund to be used for future capital projects. On the expenditure side, we made sure, as always, that we're fiscally responsible in 2025. Unfortunately, there are some things we can't control. The largest increase to our budget you'll see is health insurance. That's not something we can control, but we did our best to work around it. And for the most part, our items did not increase. A lot of our larger expenditures that we see every year either stayed the same or did go down a hair. So the overall outlook on the budget is definitely one to be proud of. I think we're in a really good place considering everything that's been going on. And I'd like to thank the mayor and finance committee, Councilwoman Lovasolo. We've worked really hard over the last year to begin projecting our budget years in advance. And I think this budget just goes to show how successful we've been, because we've been prepared for everything that's come our way. We've already started today. We had a couple of meetings reassessing some expenditures that we currently have in the borough to see if we can get them lowered for next year. So we're constantly looking for different ways to help our taxpayers.
Yep.
And then the last little side note that I'd like to mention, which the mayor can add to, because I might not have the facts right, but a couple of years ago, the borough applied for a grant to help with the community center project. The mayor is the one initiated, 2 years ago?
Over 2 years.
Over 2 years ago, she initiated getting a grant for the community center, and it was extremely cumbersome. The documents, the back and forth, getting approved, getting denied, and it wound up having to be a team effort to get this to really get going. And, we sat down one day about a year ago and she's like, we both need to do this. And countless emails, countless phone calls, back and forth, in and out.
And different people too. And we'd get
We
we'd
had
get leeway with somebody and
turnover
then
of,
the turnover, yeah.
staff, you'd be emailing one person and then a month goes by, somebody else emails you. But after a year of diligently working on this grant, I am happy to say that last week we received $750,000 in grant funds to be applied to the community center project. So that's big news.
We are much more efficient than it was definitely a team effort. Actually, it was probably longer than 2 years
I
because
think so, yeah.
Michelle Ryan is the one who I was writing it with. So, but thank you. Yeah, it was, and I don't know if I would have had the bandwidth to take it to that home stretch because it was really getting very, very frustrating.
Yes.
So, so that really.
There was no counting on the money at one point.
No, it was. And if
get
it
it,
wasn't so much money, we would have probably just threw our hands up.
Yeah.
It was that crazy.
But we did get it. So that's good news in 2026, 2025 that we got that. So it'll help 2026 when we have to start looking at our capital funding because it's a decent amount of money that's going to lower it.
Thank you very much. Okay, our clerk, Linda.
Just regarding elections, April 16th is the deadline to change your party affiliation. And May 20th is the last day to register to vote in the primary election. And we will be open, our offices will be open until 9 p.m. that day.
Super. Daddy, do you have anything to report?
Also on May 20th, we have the satellite clerk coming in to the community center.
Oh, that's right.
And they will be providing passport applications with photos on site. They can swear in notary oaths, free photo cards for seniors, veterans, and exempt firefighters. And yes, we'll be having more.
Excellent. Thank you very much. All righty. Chief of Police, Mike Dillon.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. It's a busy time at the police department. We're getting ready for our reaccreditation assessment in early May. Our school programs are in full swing, and we are showing success with the ARRIVE program. That's the program that places a mental health provider in our headquarters to respond to residents in need of ongoing psychological assistance. And a special thank you to Allison, who is always attentive to our needs at the police department and willing to work out solutions to any budget challenges I bring her.
There's always budget challenges, aren't there? Is that it?
Yes.
Thank you very much. DPW Superintendent Andy Guglielmo.
Thank you, Mayor. DPW has been quite busy lately. We've been prepping the fields for opening day on April 6th. We've been preparing Crestwood Lake for the Memorial Day opening. The concession stand is moving along nicely if anybody's been out there in Crestwood lately. There's now an e-waste container at the recycling center, like everybody said earlier. I just want to thank Carrie Niasi, our recycling coordinator, and Kim Oliveri for both of their hard work with the project. It'll be a great addition to our recycling center. And lastly, the roof at the Red Barn at Crestwood has been fixed and the gutters have been installed.
Great. Not even in that. Super. Excellent. All right. Ray Wiss, our borough attorney.
Thank you, Mayor. In addition to ordinances and resolutions on tonight's agenda, I think the summary report is water, sewer, negotiation, litigation. That basically covers the last 2 weeks since our meeting.
Yeah.
A lot of discussions involving sewer and sewer-related matters, water matters with Veolia, with certain homeowners, and also with some developers, let's say, in an adjacent community.
Thank you. Very, very nicely said. Okay, I will give my report. We had our first of 4 town halls this past week, and we had, I think, 55 people there, which is amazing because we probably don't have 55 people in all of our council meetings combined. But we laid out our 2025 strategy goals and plans, so we'll have that out for the community to take a look at. Every council person got to talk and answer questions about each one of their committees, so it went over really well. Of course, we have the budget tonight. Allison explained it. We're really, really happy that we're able to offer our municipal portion at under 1%. It's pretty much unheard of these days. with the cost of everything going up. But we are very conservative. We look at every single line item. We spend wisely. We spend your tax dollars wisely, and that is the most important message to get across. If there is money out there, grants, we will go for it. It is free money. It's nuts not to take it. So we apply for every single grant. Councilman Yacarino talked about in prior meetings, we are going to be doing the tennis courts instead of doing them this year. We're waiting another year so we could actually apply for another grant to put towards it to get at least more than 50% of it funded. So that's what we do. And today also we had two meetings that also are potentially going to save the taxpayer money. One was a fiber optic meeting, and we had Jim Coban on, who is our IT vendor, and talked about a grant that the county actually received and is passing on to municipalities. So it looks like we're going to save a little bit of money and then have faster speed and less traffic on our lines. This is why we need a Jim Coban.
We asked a lot of questions, yeah.
So bottom line is we can actually cancel our Verizon subscription and our Optimum subscription, and it's actually double the amount of speed or double the amount of capacity for less money. So it's really it was a no-brainer. The second meeting that we had was actually with our insurance agency, and this is something that we have to discuss a little bit more internally, and we're going to run some numbers, but also seemed too good to be true, where we could potentially save money with our insurance. So as Allison mentioned, the insurance went up 17% this year. I think the year before it was like 20-something%. So it's something that is called a difference card. And I'm not going to explain it in detail because we will roll it out if we're going to, but it's just illustrating that we look at everything and look at all different ways that we can save money. And then, as she also mentioned, the cell tower, I'm just super, super stoked that we did our research and that we actually own the cell tower now, because we're making incredible revenue, and there's not a lot of opportunity to make revenue in a municipality. So I'm really happy about that. We had a ribbon cutting today for another new establishment in town called Morning Bloom. I've called it so many different names. It's called Spring Bloom, Morning Bloom. Eddie Vaselli, who also owns Allendale Steakhouse and Mezzaluna, opened up his third restaurant, and it was delicious. We actually had lunch there today, and it was really good. So we wish him well, and we'll definitely be going back. Fair Share Housing, we had another call this week. There is so many facets that are going on with the Fair Share Housing. We have a letter that is a memo that's going to be going out to the community that's going to try to hopefully explain it a little bit better. But we've been dealing with different lawyers and all different facets of it. It is definitely going to be challenging. It's one of the more challenging things that we're dealing with as a municipality, but everybody else is. It's something that is mandated by the state, and just doesn't make a lot of sense if you lay it all out there, but it's something that we do have to do. So we are complying as we always have and trying to do it the best way that we can and the smartest way that we can. Okie doke. Let's see what else. I just want to mention the community center really quickly. It's going really well. I really want to thank Amanda for stepping up and learning and growing and tweaking along the way. And we're still doing that. So it is a work in progress, but everybody absolutely loves it. It is filled all the time. And we're going to start, as Dottie mentioned, we're going to start trying to host some free community events. So the first one is something that Bergen County was offering, where it was the passports. Another Allendale resident reached out to me and wants to do a service for providing or giving information on providing wills, like how to write your will or what you should do for your wills and things like that. So I think that would be another great community service. So, so that's about it. We went to the ARC meeting, talked about that, and I'm with my report. All right. So for any unfinished business, anybody forget anything? So for new business, we have Resolution 25-113. Allison did a great job of describing it. do we want to open it up actually to the public? I think we should probably open up to the public. Does anybody want to come up and have any questions about Resolution 25-113, the introduction to our municipal budget?
Mhm.
And then hold.
Walter Woodward, 38 Hamilton. I'm here on behalf of my neighbor. I'm not going to tell you his name because he didn't give me permission. He has objected to the fact that his kids have been playing in town play areas. They've not had the ability to use the facility to go to the bathroom.
Well, I'm
What-
sorry, what facility? Because it's not the community center, because we have about 25 stalls in there.
Well, apparently, many of them are not available for them to use.
He needs to come in and talk to
In the
us.
community center?
Mayor,
In the community center?
No, the bathroom.
Walter,
Where?
if they're going to Crestwood or they're
At
going over
Crestwood.
by the ball fields, there are porta johns out throughout the area. They're always open. They're clean. We
Oh,
clean,
I
they're
know.
always
Oh, you're
there.
talking about
He said
outdoors.
they were open.
That's-
Maybe people
They're
are in.
open. The bathrooms at the Red Barn are closed because
not
of the
the
weather.
Field.
The one at the grandstand field, that's closed, but there are porta johns throughout Crestwood Lake, throughout the Red Barn, and also by the grandstand field that are there that are always open.
Walter, they're closed in the winter, so the pipes don't burst, so they're gonna be open in another week. So what we do is we put porta potties there in the winter time for people.
Well, on his behalf, I object to what's happening. I don't want to talk about. Next thing,
Love you, Walter.
thank you, Andy.
Welcome.
Tell him to come in with you.
Artie?
Tell him to come in next time. You can't be giving
He can call
complaints
Borough
about
Hall
your neighbor.
anytime and ask, or call Andy.
You didn't get blood today?
I had this cough, so they wouldn't take me. I filled out that whole stupid, questionnaire thing you have to do, and then I go to the, and they wouldn't let me do it. So I have no sticker. My husband gave though.
Okay, do you have another question, Walter? Walter, do you have another question?
That's also shut it off.
It's the mic. I know. We'll have to talk about that.
Unbelievable. I was listening to the reports and half of them I could not hear because of the hum.
Okay. We are going to look into but it's a big project, so we have to redo all of this. We can't because it's the microphones.
I can hear you speak.
Well, I'm
better than
speaking
the hum.
that. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Peace.
Peace. I'd like to open the meeting up to the public on anything. Anybody from the public like to come up? Come on up. Hello.
Welcome back.
Yep. Can you state your name, please? And your address?
My name is Michael Gao. I live at 21 Oakwood.
Thank you. What can we do
Hello,
for you?
I am Michael Gao, a Brookside student. I am here to ask the council to address an issue.
Okay.
The water fountain that is attached to the snack stand is broken. The school bought a new one, but it is sitting inside the snack stand and needs to be installed. The school maintenance team cannot install it. It must be done by the town employee because this is town property. The student at Brookside joint PE class and Allendale children joint town sports are asking about it because they need water when they are playing. This is important, especially with the summer coming.
True.
I am asking you to please install the water fountain soon. I have pictures for you to see the condition of the broken water fountain.
Okay,
Thank
I'd
you.
love to see the pictures, and I'm going to have our DPW Superintendent, Andy Agugliero, answer the question for you.
So today we removed the old one off the wall, and I had a contractor there today look at it, and I'm going to have another contractor there tomorrow to look at it as well. so we can get proposals to install. And it'll be installed very soon, I promise you that.
Yeah.
Okay? All right, high five.
Excellent.
Good job, Michael.
Thank you.
Thank
High five.
Yeah, you left him hanging. All right. Anybody else from the public wish to speak? Come on up. You're the only one left.
But might as well say something.
Might as well for last. Mark Savastano, 22 Breland Place. And I just want to say again how pleased I am that we have that electronics collection now at the recycle center. And also Andy mentioned that there's going to be collection of metal as well, so that people can bring that material, which is, it's very convenient. I happen to have quite a bit, so that's helpful to me. I wanted to mention the success of our last EPS collection, styrofoam, that we collected between Ramsey and Allendale. Between our two collections, we had another 600 cubic feet of material.
Excellent.
Yeah, and we needed to make different arrangements because it's beginning to get tough to work with Ridgefield Park. So I reached out to Sean Hamlin in Ridgewood, and he agreed to allow us to bring the material there. And they have a collection container. I think it's probably a 40-foot container that was completely empty. And when we were done delivering, it was completely full. So we continue to be one of the top collectors of anywhere in Bergen County, Allendale. As small as we are,
We need to put that little blurb in the newsletter about that.
Yes.
Say that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm proud of the efforts that the citizens are making. I'm thankful for your assistance, and also our green team. It does a lot of work to keep these collections going. So the 3 towns that are participating in the program now, Ramsey, Upper Saddle River, and Allendale, we've completed the first cycle of 3 months of collection. And I did start to publish the ongoing schedule so that the residents of town know that every month there will be a collection in one of those 3 towns. So,
Super.
yeah, I just wanted to share that information with you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anybody else from the public wish to speak? Yeah. Oh, you came right just under. We're just about to adjourn.
Bruce Rossler, 40 Meeker Avenue. Just
Hi, Bruce.
rolled in from New England.
Ah.
Sorry I didn't get here on time, but I was talking to Amy and I was asking if you would consider the fence ordinance, perhaps making that 6 foot instead of 5. At the very least, the side yard and rear yard. So that was one thing. I think you need to consider deer fencing for the public and also for farmland assessed property. Because I need some kind of relief. And I would ask that you consider that strongly. And I'd also ask about the setbacks. That's very sensitive to us. For my own self-serving interest, you know, if you do come up with deer fencing, possibly for farm assessed property, maybe that could be different for setbacks and whatnot, as opposed to homeowners, because we really can't coexist with the deer anymore. So that's really.
Yeah, no, we were just talking about how in land use we've been, altering. We look at things. So we already have it on the agenda for the next land use committee meeting, and I'll keep you posted.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming.
Excuse me, Mayor. We just need a vote on the resolution 25-113.
Oh.
Introduce municipal budget.
Well, thank you very much. Good catch. I'd like a motion to vote on resolution 25-113, the municipal budget.
So moved.
Second, please.
Second.
Councilman Yakarino.
Yes.
Councilman O'Toole.
Yes.
Councilwoman Lobasello.
Yes.
Councilman Delawisio.
Yes.
Okay, and that is the conclusion of this meeting. Meeting adjourned. All in favor?
So moved.
Aye.
Second.
Aye. You guys are nutty today. Thanks, everybody, for coming.